adult daughters. First time ever since they were grown up, and we decided to go to the canyons in the Southwest States. Of course, it's never as easy as you think it's going to be, right? So it turned out we had to take 3 different flights on different days. And my youngest daughter and I got to Vegas first, and we had 2 whole days in Vegas before the other ones came. What to do in Vegas when you don't gamble? Well, we walked along the strip, we saw the Bellagio fountains and the pirate ships at Treasure Island, and we went and saw some paintings at Caesar Palace, and we were having a great old time, and by the end of the day we were at the Venetian with the gondolas and the canals. And heading off for supper, we passed this kiosk, and this young couple said, "Hey there, how are you doing? Are you having fun in Vegas? Seen any shows? Gone to any great restaurants?" And so we started to chat with them, and I said to my daughter, "Just wait, they're going to try to sell us a timeshare. But it's okay, because I've been through this before. We won't buy the timeshare, and we'll get free stuff." And sure enough, the next morning, we were running along the strip to try to catch that shuttle bus, way hell and gone out into the desert, where us and a bunch of other suckers were going to a timeshare presentation. And it went fine. There were presenters and slides, and we got free breakfast. And then we were set up with our minder. Now, our minder was called Dahlia, and she was our girlfriend. And we bonded and talked about, boyfriends and kids and shopping and timeshares. And at the end of it all, she comes up with this big contract she has under her desk. $35,000, 5 weeks, wonderful timeshare. You gotta take it. And we said, no. And we said, can we please have our free meal tickets and our free theater tickets, which had been offered to us back at the kiosk. 1 minute, please. And off she goes. And that's how we met Kyle. And Kyle comes out, and he's tall and blonde with sparkly blue eyes, charming. And he picks up that contract that Dahlia offered us and tears it into little pieces and throws it on the floor. And says, forget that. $22,000. This is a bargain basement sale. You can have 2 timeshares, one for 3 weeks and another one for 2 weeks. You and your daughters can all come together and not be in each other's hair. It's the best deal ever. You gotta take it. And we said, no. Can we please have our free meal vouchers and our free theater tickets? Be right back, says Kyle. And in walks Marcel. Now Marcel is suave, and he's from Europe, and he's got this Parisian French, and he's found out we're from Montreal. He's wonderful. And he tears up the agreement that Kyle had made, tosses it away. $9,000. Who could beat a timeshare for $9,000? It's highway robbery. And I said, maybe. Bam! And I was in the notary's office. But we'd already had free lunch. And there was a stack of papers this high, and I was signing them, and caveats and affidavits and I don't know what, and sign. Someone had taken my Visa card and was doing the down deposit. And the notary said to me, his name was Kim, he says, Jane, you remind me of my mother. You look so worried and anxious. Are you sure? And I said, no, I'm not sure at all. Bam, bam! And I was out of the notary's office, and they were undoing documents, and they were reversing the Visa card. By now, my daughter had lost all interest, and she was out in the courtyard beside the pool doing exercises. And after like an hour and a half, everything was undone. And of course I said, can I please have my free meal vouchers and my free theater tickets? And they said, well, you know, yeah, but everybody's gone and the shuttle bus left already and the place is empty, so you're going to have to go down to the cafeteria and we're going to have to call a limousine to come and get you. So me and my daughter are sitting down in the cafeteria when along comes Marcel again. He's got 2 envelopes. Free meal tickets and theater tickets. Do I have a timeshare for you? $5,000. Can you believe it? And I'm like, wow, $5,000? I could just put the whole thing on my visa. And I said, yes! And bam, 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 and I'm back up in the notary's office, and Kim and the stack of papers, and sign an affidavit, and you remind me of my mother, and sign some more. And we walked out of there with a brand new timeshare in our pockets. Of course, it was too late to go to a free meal or a free theater, because now it was dark, I had to go out and get my other 2 daughters who were at the airport, and I rented a car, and it turned out that the rental place was way, way hell and gone out in the desert past the timeshare place. So by the time I got to the airport, the daughters had come and gone, and I suppose they're back at the hotel, and I staggered back into the hotel. It was past midnight, couldn't find the daughters. Finally discovered them at the cafe, an all-night cafe at the back, and I said, I've done a terrible thing. I've bought a timeshare. What? You don't even buy a block of cheese without consideration. I know, what got into me. But it was $5,000. Oh, they said, $5,000. Oh, well, that's fine. And so the next morning, we headed out in the rental car to the Grand Canyon. And the Grand Canyon was wonderful. It was like the earth had opened up a belly of jewels. And we had a great time. And after a few days, we headed over to the Bryce Canyon. And the Bryce Canyon was even more wonderful, with great purple and orange statuesque rocks that looked like people and fairy castles. And we walked all the way through it, up and down and all around. And we staggered back late to the hotel. And the girls went off to the jacuzzi or something. And I decided that I should read those timeshare documents. I hadn't looked at them since. Every night I lay in my bed like this and I'm, who am I? And where is Jane? So I read the first line and it said, you can revoke up to 5 days after your purchase. It was the 5th day. And I was out of the hotel room like a bat out of hell. And I was into the general store that had a little post office. And I was begging the guy to accept my mailing, but it was 4:30. No, ma'am, he says. I never go against the law. See the sign? Closed at 4. So I dashed off to the front desk. I wanted to fax it, and I did manage to fax something, but I had Kim, the notary's card, and I phoned him, and I said, look, I want to revoke. It's the 5th day. I'm still allowed. And he said, you have to do that in person or you have to mail the original, Jane. You can't fax that. But you know, if there's anywhere in the world where you can mail something right up till midnight, I bet it's Vegas. How far are you from Vegas? Well, it turns out we were 4.5 or 5 hours from Vegas. Oh. I was in the rental car in 5 minutes, and I was just taking off when the daughters came rushing out. No, Mummy, no, you can hardly drive to begin with. You can't drive all the way to Vegas in the middle of the night. But I started the engine, and I was starting to back up. So my oldest daughter, Suzanne, jumped in with me, and we took off through the mountain passes and down the highway, down, 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 down. And you know what? We got to Las Vegas at 11:30 at night. Triumph! And I had Suzanne going into all the big hotels, the Stratosphere and the Circus, and find a post office, find a post office. But they mostly seemed to just think she was crazy. And before you knew it, it was midnight and we turned into pumpkins and we had failed. So we went to the Motel 8 with the plan to get up the next morning and drive back to the Bryce Canyon owners of the timeshare. But when I woke up, I thought, oh, I got to call the timeshare people again. Ring. It was Chris. Jane, he says, how wonderful to hear from you. Come on down. This is great. Now, I never heard of Chris. He says, we got your fax. So, in a flash, we're back in the rental car and driving way hell and gone out into the desert to the timeshare place again. Only this time I've got Suzanne with me and she's saying, she's a mother hen. You are not going anywhere without me. You are not signing anything without me. You are not talking to anyone without me. And I'm going to stand beside you until you sign a revoke. And that's how we walked out of that timeshare place with no timeshare in our pocket. And drove all the long afternoon back to Bryce Canyon, where the other two were drinking and saying they thought they were orphans. And then we headed out the very next morning in a big, horrible snowstorm back down through the final canyon that we didn't have time to visit anymore because we'd done too much timeshare stuff. And back into Las Vegas, just at sunset, where you know what we did? We had a free dinner and we went to a free show. Well, maybe not